Everybody, welcome back to my channel. We are, of course, doing our grocery shopping and menu planning today. My menu plan this week, I am planning to do a lot of kind of rollover ingredients. And we will talk about that, but I have to go through our refrigerator. I'm also going to take a peek at the pantry. Some of my items are getting kind of low in there, so I need to focus on getting some of that replenished. But as always, we start out in the refrigerator because that is the most dangerous part of your grocery budget, all those perishable items. So we are going to go through, see what we have, what we need to use first, and what I need to refill. This is what we have going on currently. This thing always starts out very disheveled whenever I show you guys. This is a Coke. That was not in my last grocery haul. If you watched my budget video on Monday, in the middle of, or actually toward the end of the week, my husband was like just really craving soda. And I had the extra funds, so we just went out and got some. I think that's okay. It's not, not a common occurrence. 4 containers of yogurt, but they have been in there for a couple weeks now, so I'm not going to be getting more. They're going to have to eat through that. My husband only had 1 of his yogurt. I astoundingly have 3 of those. I'm going to have to eat some for breakfast, but eggs, we're pretty low on the eggs, so definitely going to have to do a full egg haul day. We do have some peppers. I don't know why they're up there and not down in the vegetable drawer. Do that. I still have lactose-free milk, and we still have 1 gallon of milk, so I only have to get 1. That would be nice. As far as creamer, we've got plenty of both. Guess the girls didn't drink too much coffee this week. Cheese, getting lower. Got that for slice. I have some American cheese hanging out. This is leftover bean soup. I had that 15 bean soup on the menu last week. Made that on Friday, and it made a ton. So I'm going to be putting that in freezer bags, putting that in the freezer. I'm planning to do a recipe with Parmesan cheese, but I don't know that is enough. Also, that doesn't melt very well, this kind. So to get some that melts really well, you gotta spend a little bit more money and get the little triangles. All right, we have a little bit of the 2 turkey. Gonna have to think about that, whether or not we get more. Right there. Right down here. Oh, look at that. Got some cheese right there. Not a lot, though. Might... Probably gonna have to add cheese to the list. We still have baby carrots. I'm gonna have to take this and add this to that. All right. Of course, you saw we still have some peppers. Not too many though, so I'll probably still get some, just not as many as I did last week. So we have 2 apples remaining. These grapes are they're gone, so food waste. We still have pears. They're not too soft yet. I probably need to pull those out. Set them on the counter. I probably will wipe this out just a little bit, but I'm not gonna. This is pretty full, so I'm not gonna wipe out every shelf. So I'm gonna get that wiped out and get those in a freezer bag, and then make the list. I'll show you guys my little table scape here for Halloween before we come back, and I just have it loaded up with stuff. So we've got the cute little Halloween tablecloth. Well, it's just not really a cloth. It's just one of those plastic ones. I picked some fresh dahlias out of the yard. I don't know if you guys noticed last week. This is a little Hocus Pocus coffee cup that I use as a little vase. We've got our little jack-o'-lantern stack. And then this pretty little Halloween themed bouquet. One of my daughters was in a play last week. And this is the bouquet that I got her. I always want people to feel like special, celebrated for their accomplishments. So I always give the girls a bouquet after any of their concerts, plays, anything like that. Here's the list. a lot of our usual stuff, plus some pantry stuff. And then I am getting items to make caramel apples this week with the kids, you know, Halloween type activity. I have Hy-Vee up here. I have it crossed out. Initially, I was like, nah, I'm not going to go. There's only got a couple things on sale. But Walmart is apparently out of caramel. So I'm going to have to go get that at Hy-Vee unless Aldi has it. And since I'm planning to go to Hy-Vee anyway, I thought I'm going to go ahead and grab like 5 rolls of the ground beef. I had room in the budget. And then 2 packages of chicken thighs. As of right now, it's estimated that I'm going to be spending $165. I'm debating on getting kind of 2 bags of apples. We'll see. I mean, it could vary. My budget this week is $175, and I have, because of rollover funds, I do have, as a double check, I think it's 208 or 209 that I am actually working with. But let's get out the door and get this shopping done. And we're back. I ended up not getting any ground beef at Hy-Vee. I had to make some adjustments to my list, things that I forgot to put on there. So we ended up spending in total $169. I mean, I did have the room since I have those rollover funds, but I kind of want to save some room to get like a roast. They're so expensive. At Aldi right now, they're still $7 something a pound, but I do want to have a roast in November. We like to have roast in the winter time, fall, winter. So I would need one in November, December, January, February. Not that it's like absolutely dire. I mean, we could just go buy it, but I like to keep that budget. I don't like to go have like an extremely huge grocery budget. $169 total, rounding. And this is what we got. Right here. I feel like it's quite a bit of stuff. Probably because we didn't get very much meat. But I did shop 3 stores. We did Walmart and then Hy-Vee right here in the center. And of course, Aldi. Walmart was $45. Hy-Vee was $12. And then Aldi was $112. So let's go through and see what we have. I got cornmeal last week. I was like, I didn't make very much cornbread, blah, blah, blah. I think my cornmeal's bad. That was right. It was. And I got those Jiffy mixes. It was horrific. It was horrific. And the kids were like, oh, yay, we miss you making cornbread. So I'm going to make cornbread. I used to make it like always with chili and things like that. So we're going to be going back to that. It's not like it's hard to make. I got the vegetable oil that I didn't get last week. I'm adding some broth to the pantry. I have broth in there now, but I cook with broth a lot. I'm just adding more, keep that stock going. I also have some frozen from the chicken carcass that I made, but again, I use a lot. Got a head of lettuce, bag of apples, Fuji apples, and then Granny Smith, and those are for the caramel apples we're going to be making on Wednesday. 2 bags of frozen vegetables. We talked about this last week. We eat a lot of frozen vegetables in the winter time, fall and winter, and just keeping that stock up. And I use these ones a lot, it seems, because of various casseroles and soups. But anyhow, I needed a box of pasta, some Italian sausage, rosemary. I had to get this one. It was super expensive because they didn't have any great value rosemary. They used to have it, but now I have that one. And they had none at Aldi. I also have minced garlic. It is, I guess, cheaper just to get the bulbs, but I loathe chopping garlic. Loathe it. I got a bunch of kale. And then I have Texas toast on the list because I'm planning to do grilled cheese on Saturday. Between like last week and today, Walmart apparently got rid of full loaves of Texas toast, and this is the only brand they carry at my store. I get 2 half loaves, which is slightly more expensive than when they had the full. Okay, and here we go at Hy-Vee. I picked up the caramel there. They were on sale for 2 for $5. I got those there. And we picked up some acorn squash. They had it there for 99 cents a pound. That makes these came out to about $6 total. I'm not going to be cooking these this week. I'm planning on doing it next week. And I'm going to reserve an apple because we do stuffed acorn squash. And I don't know, maybe I'll share that with you guys, what we do. Okay, I got chicken breast. The ad, when I looked at the Aldi ad, it said they were going to have boneless, skinless chicken thighs for $2.49. When I got there, it was $2.99. I'm like, did I misread that ad? Double checked, and it was $2.49, but whatever. I got the chicken, $2.49. Okay, I was out of potatoes. We got a 10-pound bag of potatoes, the 1-pound bag of shredded cheese. I got heavy whipping cream, and that is for a recipe I'm making tonight. We needed 1 gallon of milk, some saltine crackers. I was after Parmesan cheese. They had some, but it was expensive. And then the Asiago cheese was quite a bit cheaper at Aldi compared to the Parmesan wedge at Walmart. I have successfully substituted Asiago for Parmesan many times, so that will work just fine in the recipe I am making. We got our obnoxious amount of yogurt. We got 5 this time. I was just going to get myself 2, and then my husband was like, well, they have 1 more key lime. Let's just get that. And I said, okay. And I was going to get him only 1 package of yogurt because he still had so much. But he was like, no, I want 2. Okay, we got that. We have some tortilla chips. We're going to do taco salad this week. I have dry roasted peanuts. Obviously, that's a good snack, but I got it for the caramel apples. Out of sugar. I forgot. Oh, that's disastrous. Anybody wants to bake anything? Okay. Oh, just lost track. Salsa. I got salsa. We were out. I'm totally out of refried beans. So I grabbed 4 cans of those and then 4 cans of the chili beans. And I know that it is cheaper to get bagged beans, and I have those. But I like to have both. I like to have canned and dry beans. 2 packages of sliced cheese. Got these little mini M&Ms. They were the same exact price at Aldi as they were at Walmart. And I had a suspicion Walmart would be out, and they were. So I'm glad I grabbed them at Aldi. And these are for caramel apples. Of course, we don't use them all, so they'll get eaten. No worries there. A bag of bagels. 3 dozen eggs. These were 2 cents more expensive at Aldi compared to a Walmart. But I do like Aldi eggs better. I don't know if they actually taste any different, but that yolk is much, much more yellow. And in my mind, that makes them better. I don't know if it does. Yeah, some of the Cheez-Its type crackers. The box of cereal that I always get for the kids. Some spinach, cottage cheese. Only got 1 package of peppers since we still had so many left. Celery, that was another thing I forgot. And a bag of onions. I'm going to work to get those all put away. And we'll go over that menu plan. And I'll kind of show you guys how I'm planning to kind of repurpose leftovers-ish, roll ingredients, that type of thing. Here's the refrigerator post restocking it, I guess. I got the chicken in there right now, so as soon as I get that all separated, there will be, some more room. It won't look quite so full. But here's the produce drawer. All right, now let's go through the plan. Here's the menu plan for this week. We're going to be doing creamy chickpea pasta. That's what the heavy whipping cream, the Asiago cheese, and spinach will be going in there. I had chickpeas that I'd cooked from dry beans, and I had those stored in the freezer downstairs. So I'm using up those in that recipe. Tuesday, just easy taco salad. That's what the tortilla chips were for, of course. Wednesday, I'm going to be making lentil soup, and I'm going to bake some garlic rosemary bread. This is a heavy soup week, by the way. Thursday, I'm going to make Italian sausage. Italian sausage, I put in kale soup, but it's potato. It's a potato soup. Italian sausage, potatoes, and kale. soup. I don't know if we're going to have a side with that or not. I mean, it's a pretty heavy meal, but I do have still some of the frozen garlic bread in the freezer. Could do that if we want to. Right here, I am going to be rolling over some of these ingredients. So we're going to be using, obviously, the lentil soup. I'm going to make a really big pot of it. But in this soup, I am going to be adding kale, leftover kale from here. And I have barley in the pantry. So I'm going to be using barley in the soup. That, I mean, it's still lentil soup, but just adding those two things makes it a little bit different. And then I'm going to cook cornbread with it on Friday. So that's the other change. So while it is still the same soup, it ends up being like a completely different meal. And then Saturday, we're going to be doing grilled cheese. We have all that American cheese in the refrigerator, so I'm wanting to use up a lot of that. So we're going to do grilled cheese. I got the Texas toast for that. And we will have plenty of leftover soup. The soup that is like the target to eat is the Italian sausage and kale soup, because there is milk in this and that does not freeze very well. So if we have any leftover soup that can go in the freezer, it's going to be one of the lentil soups. This will be first priority for eating on Saturday. Clearly, if there's not enough of that, we'll move on to the lentil soup, and we still have that 15 bean soup that I just put in the freezer as well. Sunday, just breakfast. I mean, we have all the food for it. We have bacon downstairs. We have all the eggs. We have bagels, bread, pancake mix, you know, so whatever that ends up being, we've got it. So that's it. That is the plan for the week. That's all of the food we have. Of course, I mean, I don't go over like lunch plans or anything like that. Lunches are just kind of, you know, what's around. But let me know in the comments if you would. I was thinking maybe I could do a video kind of breaking down the cost of all of the dinners. Let me know in the comments if that is something you guys would be interested in, or any recipe videos out of, you know, this menu plan I have here. Again, just let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.